Ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan sent its rocket drones, believing they'd cripple us. But what they didn't know was that India had already risen. We didn't just shoot down their machines. We shattered their confidence. India fought back, not just with courage, not just with soldiers, but with brilliance. That brilliance had a name, AKASHTEER, like a silent guardian in the clouds, like the invisible shield forged not just by metal and code, but by the spirit of a billion hearts. AKASHTEER stood tall. This was not just a war between nations. This was a battle between fear and faith, between technology and terror, between the future and the past. AKASHTEER is India's technological shield, a cutting-edge air defense system that symbolizes the country's leap into modern warfare capabilities. In an age where threats no longer come only from traditional battlegrounds, but from above, through rockets, missiles, and unmanned aerial vehicles, AKASHTEER represents India's commitment to protecting its skies with precision, speed, and smart technology. Developed to act as a network-centric air defense system, AKASHTEER has been engineered with the ability to detect, track, and neutralize multiple aerial threats simultaneously, operating like a digital brain that watches the skies and reacts within seconds. What makes AKASHTEER unique is not just its ability to intercept threats, but how it does so. Unlike older systems that relied on manual input and slower coordination, AKASHTEER is built on a sophisticated web of radars, command centers, sensors, and communication tools. This means it doesn't just shoot down threats, it anticipates them, analyzes their trajectory, and makes real-time decisions faster than any human could. It integrates data from various sources across land and air, creating a live battlefield map where every movement is tracked, every anomaly is flagged, and every danger is met with swift action. It transforms chaos into control. This technological marvel reflects India's desire to be not just reactive, but proactive in its national defense. Instead of depending on imported systems or foreign expertise, AKASHTEER is a product of India's homegrown research and development, proof that the nation can design, develop, and deploy sophisticated defense systems on its own terms. It combines indigenous radar systems, command and control centers, and surface-to-air missile platforms into one seamless operational entity. Such integration elevates it from being just a weapon to becoming a full-spectrum defensive network, capable of handling complex aerial assaults that may involve swarms of drones or saturation rocket attacks. AKASHTEER stands as a game changer, especially in the context of modern hybrid warfare, where enemies use technology, unpredictability, and low-cost, high-impact methods to cause disruption. Pakistan's use of rocket drones is one such method. Fast, cheap, difficult to detect. But AKASHTEER neutralizes this tactic by responding with a layered and intelligent defense. It doesn't just fire back, it adapts, recalibrates, and counters with precision that saves both military and civilian lives. It offers commanders a bird's-eye view of ongoing aerial operations, allowing them to deploy interceptors where they're most needed, making every second count during conflict. This system also strengthens India's border defenses, especially in regions like Jammu and Kashmir, where aerial threats from across the border can appear suddenly and without warning. By providing real-time surveillance and rapid response capabilities, AKASHTEER transforms Indian airspace into a well-guarded fortress. It empowers not just the military, but the entire nation with a sense of security, knowing that technology is watching, guarding, and ready to act. This shift from human-driven to tech-driven defense ensures that India is not just catching up with global powers, it is standing shoulder to shoulder with them, protected by a shield born of its own vision and intellect. Silent heroes built AKASHTEER, and their stories often go untold, hidden behind the glare of missiles and radars, overshadowed by the uniforms on the front lines. These are the scientists, engineers, coders, researchers, and project managers who worked behind the scenes, not for fame, not for recognition, but for purpose. They sat in labs instead of bunkers, typed codes instead of commands, and sketched designs instead of battle strategies. Yet their impact on India's defense is as powerful as any soldier on the field. AKASHTEER is not just a machine, it is the outcome of years of invisible labor by minds that dared to imagine the impossible. These silent heroes come from different backgrounds, some from elite institutions like DRDO, RSRO, and Bharat Electronics Limited, others from small engineering colleges and startups, but all of them united under a single mission: to protect India's skies with something India built for itself. They faced technical challenges that could break the will of most teams. Developing a defense network capable of integrating radar signals, analyzing high-speed threats in real time, and launching countermeasures with surgical precision was not just a technical challenge, it was a mental and emotional test. But they pushed forward. Sleepless nights, tight deadlines, limited budgets, and constant testing failures didn't stop them. Every time a radar malfunctioned or an algorithm failed to track a drone, they didn't give up. They recalibrated, redesigned, and reimagined. Many of these individuals worked under intense secrecy. They couldn't share their progress with family. They couldn't talk about their setbacks. They lived lives of isolation, not because they were forgotten, but because they had taken on a task that required total commitment and complete silence. No parades celebrated them, no headlines quoted their names, but their contribution is written in every successful interception, every missile that hit its mark, and every drone that was stopped before it could harm civilians or soldiers. Their genius wasn't just in science, but in their belief, in their trust that something better could be built, something smarter, faster, and more resilient. They didn't just build a defense system. They built hope. They proved that India need not rely on borrowed technology, that our own people could build a digital fortress in the skies. Their work on AKASHTEER was an act of devotion, an offering to the nation done not with weapons, but with vision, patience, and relentlessness. They were the ones who took theories off the chalkboard and turned them into radar-guided solutions. The ones who turned failure into feedback. The ones who saw every bug in the system not as defeat, but as the next problem to solve. They stitched together networks, trained AI models, calibrated sensors, and tested every possible scenario. Not because anyone told them to, but because they knew what was at stake. They were driven by a quiet patriotism, the kind that doesn't shout slogans, but builds systems that save lives. AKASHTEER is their monument, not in stone or steel, but in the secure skies it defends every single day. India responded with precision, not panic, and that response made all the difference in the face of sudden aggression. When the skies lit up with incoming threats, rocket drones designed for destruction launched to create chaos and confusion. There was every reason to react emotionally. A lesser, compared nation might have scrambled, made mistakes, or acted in fear. But India stood calm, collected, and calculated. It didn't retaliate blindly or respond with overwhelming force just to show strength. Instead, it responded with sharp intelligence, refined coordination, and absolute control. That is what separates a reaction from a strategy. Precision isn't just about hitting the target, it's about knowing when, how, and why to act. And India did just that. AKASHTEER played a critical role in making this precision possible. As a state-of-the-art defense system, it processed threats in real time, mapping out the trajectory of drones, identifying false alarms, and deploying countermeasures only where needed. It didn't fire at shadows, it didn't overreach. Every decision was made with data, every missile launch was calculated, and every response had a purpose. That kind of measured control can only come from confidence in your systems, trust in your people, and clarity in your objectives. There was no space for panic, because panic